Hi everybody, this is Dara. I'm just making a quick video for those of you who might be thinking of starting to play the guitar and trying to work out what you need once you have a guitar, what you might need as in terms of accessories or other things that would be useful as you go about learning it. When I started, I really just started with a pick and a guitar. And over time, I began to find out other things that would be useful to have, so I thought I'd share that with you. So in no particular order of importance, I'll just kind of go through it. Certainly, when you're playing the guitar, and it's very typical that you are, like me, sitting down when you're playing the guitar and perhaps practicing at home, and so on and so forth. But if you ever get up and decide to perform, it's very likely you'll be standing rather than sitting. And so one of the first things you might need is a strap. So this is a kind of a typical strap. They come in all shapes and sizes. I particularly like to have on an acoustic guitar a kind of a broad strap that tends to be a little bit more comfortable as well. It's no bad idea, even if you're sitting down, to have the strap on as well. It gives a little bit more support to the guitar, and it can stop you hunching over as well. So typically when you start playing the guitar, you're a little bit hunched over, looking at your hands, trying to send the signals from your eyes to your hands to do the right thing. But over time, it's probably better to be not looking at your hands. And certainly if you're performing in front of people, whether it's just your friends or family, or you're up on a stage, getting used to being able to stand upright, look out, perform without looking at your hands. A strap will help you along the way. So that's probably the first thing I'd mention. In terms of practicing, I found this changed my life, which is a footstand. Now, very typically, a footstand for right-handed guitarists would be under the left foot, and it's quite common for classical musicians. And the reason for that is, rather than sitting with the guitar placed here, a classical musician might sit more like this, with the guitar more upright and with their leg elevated on a footstand. Now, you might not be learning classical guitar, but certainly I find that if you're practicing and you're practicing for a little bit of time, particularly when you're doing technical work like scales or things like that, it's really, really good to be comfortable, and that your posture is as appropriate as possible, that you're kind of upright and your hand positions are all good. I'll have another video on that. And so a footstand is really, really helpful. They're not that expensive, and certainly I use it a lot for practice. I would mention, which is kind of indispensable really for a folk acoustic singer and player, is a capo or a capo. They come in lots of different designs. They can be kind of screwed on. There's those ones. I have another one here which is just a tie-on, and it uses the pressure of its own tension to keep it on the fretboard. This is a typical one as well. It can be clipped on like that. It's spring-loaded, and whoops. And that can be very useful. So you learn a song in a particular key, and then you go to sing it, and you find out that you, or maybe the singer, would prefer to sing it in a higher key or a lower key or whatever it might be. And so now you need to change very quickly to that new key. Well, what the capo can do, or the capo can do, is effectively modify the neck of your guitar so that you can use the same shapes in terms of chords that you have learned the song in, without having to transpose all of those chords into a different set of chords, or into a flat key or a sharp key for you or the singer. So I think that's very, very useful, and I always have at least one in my guitar case, just in case. A couple of other things. I mentioned at the beginning a pick. I think it's great to have maybe 3 or 4 of these of slightly different thicknesses, so that you can play with a hard pick. This is a semi-hard pick. Or this is a super light pick and has a more percussive sound to it as well. And perhaps a kind of a smoother sound too. So the choice of pick might be appropriate for the type of song that you're playing. In addition to that, you can get thumb picks which clip onto your thumb, and they're quite useful. I don't have one on now, but for alternate picking and finger picking style, where you want to have a strong finger in the bass as such, and then be finger picking with the other fingers. So choice picks or thumb picks. More than that, you can even go further and you can get guitar picks for the other fingers as well. Now, depending on what type of music you play, on your right hand, you may have long nails, you may have short nails, and your nails make a particular sound when they hit the guitar. That's different to the pads of your fingers as well. But if you don't have those nails, and there's a lot of care and upkeep going into a guitarist who plays with their fingernails, then you can get guitar picks for your nails as well. They're a little bit unwieldy to start with. They feel a bit strange, so they take a bit of getting used to. Now, spare strings. Essential. Always carry a set of spare strings with you. It's particularly annoying that if you break a string in the middle of a song or performing and it's all over because you don't have a set of strings that you can just throw one on and keep going, or indeed replace them all. You can buy an entire set. I've seen perhaps with a lot of beginner guitarists, maybe the E string or the G string or the upper strings might break a little bit more. Strings tend to be pretty good quality these days, so they don't break as much as they used to. So you can buy individual strings, but it's probably good to have a pack. Sorry, I'm not spooking that particular brand. And that's about it. I think apart from that, the other option is, depending on the kind of music you're playing, I have a slide here. It's really an optional thing. It's another technique, typical sort of blues style of music. I tend to always carry on with me because I might retune the guitar into an open tuning and play a couple of songs with this. But that's really a very optional extra as well. So that's what I would say in terms of accessories that you might need when you're starting out. A strap, the capo, maybe a selection of picks. That's probably your basic set to kind of get you going. And yeah, thanks very much.